So I was talking to Marcelo a lot about our meeting situation and everything. And I really do want to bring a lot more focus back to it and take it a lot more seriously. My exploration into the world of other very high-end box owners, one of the best practices that absolutely everyone has is staff meetings. I feel like we are a little bit unique in how involved I am in actually coaching and being on the floor. So I think that has kind of bridged us through not having actual meetings and that type of thing. But I'm recording right here, babe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I do want that to be something we incorporate because we are I'm learning that we are we're high up. We're definitely top 5% of boxes in the world, and whatever that means elsewhere. But there is one more notch up, and what separates them from us is systems. Probably never going to go real ham on that. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, but that really is what separates us. I always tell Marcella that, and Phil can attest to this, anyone that's been with me for a long time can, that Marcella kind of came in really at a really good sweet spot because New Species had grown to a point that my fucking cowboy shit might have begun to hurt us. Okay, so she came in full corporate status, and we yin-yang fought that shit out and came up with a pretty good balance. She's got most of you on her side with organization, which is probably how much fucking balance it takes to keep me, even close on the teeter-totter, because I am a full chaos element. And then also with the stuff we've been doing lately, with what sets us apart and things, I always want there to be room for us to have an educational anatomy piece and that type of thing. But that's another situation. We have ongoing education. I feel like we constantly educate ourselves. So I always want there to be a piece and emotion for that, or a place for that. But more than anything, I feel like what separates New Species apart is how we coach and how we handle our people and how we handle our community. So what I want to begin to do is really put some structure around that, especially as we have all these new coaches coming in. And that's kind of what this is all inspired by today. So me and Marcella, we are together all day, and then we go home and talk about coaching all day. And a lot of times people call this not a real job, personal training or fitness or whatever. And we go home fully fucking exhausted from this not real job. I've had this discussion with Alan and probably a few others of you as well. But every class we teach is like putting on a fucking presentation at anyone else's job that they would have potentially months to prepare for. Y'all motherfuckers don't even have hours because I'm such a shit show. You know what I'm saying? But you're expected to show up, put on a good face, hit all the movements, and I just want to continue to make that easier for you. So that's why it's so taxing. We have to be entertaining. We have to be, a keynote speaker, whatever you want to call it. I'll probably throw this out as a constant reminder, not only to y'all but myself as well, and only because I have seen it happen. They say power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. Especially with, again, this is more aimed at some of our new coaches coming on. We have a lot of experience in the room right now. But there's a little bit of celebrity that comes with being a coach. There's a lot of people listening to every fucking word you say and every whim and hanging on your every word and giving you that attention consistently over and over again. And I've seen it go to coaches' heads, and then they think anatomy parts are a little bit bigger than anatomy parts are, and they overextend themselves and fuck themselves up. And they end up being a piece of shit human, honestly. Negative cues start creeping in and all that type of shit. So for me personally, one of the things that I think has given New Species and myself longevity in this career is always being mindful to just to not be a dick. I keep that servant's mentality all the way through, because guys, that's all we are. I've literally had this conversation with my one-on-one clients and be like, listen bro, I want you to know how much I love and respect the way you treat me, because I know when it really comes up down to it, we're the fucking hired help. And that's what it is. All right? And that you can take that as an awesome, amazing place in life, or you can take it as an insult. And if you take it as an insult, we need to have a conversation, because there's nothing that makes me happier. Okay, so just always keep that servant's mentality. And that kind of rolls into we're selling relationship over everything else, over everything. I call it love a lot. Sometimes that scares people, so I've kind of refined that to say we're selling relationship packaged in fitness. But that's really what it is. If we were just selling fitness, every single fucking one of our members would have canceled the second they didn't have fitness from us. But instead, more than 2/3 of them kept paying us based on relationship. And that's what kept us open. And that's why we're here post-pandemic. You know, so always remember that that's what really matters. Like, I have one of, I think I'm not gonna drop any names or anything, but the worst coach I've ever had on staff. She didn't cue up a fucking movement. He didn't do this, he didn't do that, whatever. But what this person did was connect with the people. Every class they taught was a fucking fun party. Everybody was friends and everybody was bros. So even though she was the shittiest coach I've ever had, okay, people fucking loved her. You know, so remember the power that's in the relationship that you form with these people. And then always, guys, athletes first, and you're gonna see that throughout this. And this is my old man. Back in my day, when I was a badass CrossFitter, never missed a CrossFit wide. If I had to, I'd double, triple, quadruple up on the weekend. If I was traveling, what the fuck ever, didn't matter. All right, then I opened a box. Day one, I missed my first wide. That's the way it fucking goes. If athletes walk in, if they need equipment, they get equipment. We figure it out. You know why? Because we have the fucking expertise to figure it out. You're doing yourself a favor. You're either going to just let them have the fucking bar and go grab something easy, or you're going to keep your bar and try to help and be a dick coach and not help them at all, or you're going to have to help them and you're going to create a lot more work for yourself. Just give them the bar, grab some dumbbells in this case, whatever it is. Always putting the athletes first. And that's whether you're on the clock or not. Because once you put that mantle on, once you put that fucking jacket on, it is fucking period. There are athletes in here right now that have never known new species without everyone at this table. And that will always be true. All right, so that too. All right, so this whole, I know you guys are probably tired of me talking about it, but I'm trying to pull everything I can from this affiliate rep gig and just pull it and apply it to the box if it's worthwhile. And one of the things that has just been voiced over and over again is best practices. And rather than setting out a bunch of rules for you guys, again, this is some of the yin yang. I fought JD on this. I fought Marcel on we need a list of coach responsibilities, what they need to do. What I want to do with it is put my own spin on that and still do that, but be a best practices list that we put together. So if Allie has some things that she does in her classes that she really feels like she might do best, and we'll use that Gestalt language. I do this, you don't have to. I'm not giving advice, I'm just telling you what I do, all right? But there might be some things, hey guys, I did this for toes to bar and it worked really well. That's how I want to build our list, not just when it comes to coaching movements, but also how we orchestrate our classes and stuff. When I come in every Tuesday morning, Steve debriefs me. He lets me know this is a long one, this is a short one. This one was running real high. You might want to rush this. You got plenty of time today. He lets me know. That is such a huge advantage because I fumble my way through my first class. Steve can also attest to this every fucking time. I've gotten pretty good. Usually I nail it. But that's the one I don't nail more often than any of the others because you need that first walkthrough. So when I have Steve coming in and addressing me like that, it lets me flow real easy. My 8 a.m. Tuesday flows a lot easier than my 5:30 a.m. on Monday. So just more communication, more sharing. So voice, what you want your voice to do, show consistent involvement, letting the athletes know that you were present and attentive. Active cueing, deeper, higher, whatever the case may be, your cheerleading, my woo, the fucking woo, what I'm saying, whatever it is, that just it's okay, coach is still here. Because they'll get lost in their own thoughts and shit, and there's always act like a new motherfucker's walking in the door. And I'm never gonna require y'all to wear staff shirts. I require you to wear a shirt, but not a staff shirt. We'll get to that in a minute, all right? Anyway, so I want them to, and my argument with that is the same as Kevin Ogar's. If my coach is doing their job, they don't need a fucking name tag. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to know your name by looking at your shirt. I want you to have to fucking say, hello, my name is Sicka Slim Shady. All right? I knew Paige is the only one that appreciated that, and I knew that going into it and didn't fucking care. All right? And so again, it focuses the attention on the coach and the coaching, whether it be soft or hard approach. So soft or hard approach. It's crazy watching these different things and these different approaches in practice because they're so fucking opposite, but if they're done well, they're equally as effective. Allie uses a soft approach. She'll get quiet and awkwardly look at motherfuckers until they pay attention. And they will literally feel like the eyes of God are on them and that they have to shut the fuck up. And then there's me. I go hard approach. I just don't say shit and get louder and louder and louder, and then I'll go stand right by the motherfucker that's still talking, and I'll just get louder. Every now and then, it's only happened once or twice, I've literally separated people. It was Cy and his brother, Michelle, before he left. I was like, hey, y'all gotta separate. Cy, come here, come stand by me. Because he just wouldn't shut the fuck up. The only time it bothers me, y'all know I'm big on playground rules, the only time it bothers me is if it's taking away from someone else's experience. You know what, on some days, that might even be the coach's experience. And that's okay too. You know, but generally more athlete first, but if they're talking and other athletes can't hear or pay attention, whatever. Some battles I choose not to fight. Very recently in the noon class, we had this gentleman, Matthew. I've been told that his name is Kush, okay, because his last name is Kushner, so now we call him Kush. He came in with Zach and Kev from the noon class, man. They were on this motherfucker like flies on shit. The first 5 times he was here, he did not hear a word I fucking said, you know. And I inserted myself where I could, you know, but then I just kind of let it flow, and then I would get on them when they were absent. But I chose not to address it so head on because I didn't want any negative sentiment from it. And I want them to be excited about bringing their boy in. As fucking toddler level, goddamn irritating as it was, watching them try to teach him to tie his shoes. Like it's like, well, nothing, he's learning nothing today, that's okay. All right, but you know what, he's still having a good time. And we can call him Kush, and everybody's having fun, so whatever, it'll be fucking dumb. All right, stop with the fucking Apple ID verification shit. No, it didn't stop. All right. Always name times 3. Words, wording, positive cueing. Increase your vocabulary. Describe things in different ways. Anytime fucks don't get you attention in here. All right, using fuck and damn and shit and whatever, that's not gonna get you any attention. We've overloaded them with that shit. All right, but you drop a fucking big ass 3-syllable kinesiology word on their ass, and you'll watch their. What did this motherfucker just say? You will watch their ears perk up. So let's constantly be increasing our vocabulary, always getting better. Come to me. Come to those that literally. A lot of us have real jobs. You know, some of us went through the whole fucking college school system and shit. We have a lot under our belt. Some of us are doctors. Tyler, motherfucker. You know, so but we have a lot of knowledge under our belt. Already hit the inflection and delivery should match body language. You are going to get a much more aggressive response on a drop drill if it's 3, 2, 1 drop versus 3, 2, 1 drop. It will immediately reflect in how they do it. The aggression will be translated immediately or not. Right? So make sure your inflection and your body language match up so that you're getting and pulling exactly the response you want out of your athletes. No uniform, keep your shirt on. Everything shifts the focus back to the athletes, not our hot bods in this example. Okay, so like we have to, everybody that comes in, I know how common fucking sense this seems. I had to put it in print. I had a coach that would tan during class who doesn't even have the ability to tan. It turns out, but goddamn it, he'd try when he was teaching. And he also, like, literally a lot of the structure that I'm realizing of our strengths of new species, I'm thankful for him because he helped me realize where, okay, this is where we're strong and the average person couldn't necessarily pick this up. You know, so honestly, it was a great experience. But now I do have to say things like keep your shirt on during class. All right, you never know. There could be a dude walking in that like is already so. I had a first workout. Marcelo will remember this one. He sat in his car. He was 10 minutes early and sat in his car for 30 minutes and ended up late because he was so fucking anxious about coming in. All right, he comes in here to walk into his first class after that experience, and I've got fucking shirtless fuck around Johnny over here as the coach. He's going right back the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? We have to be as hardcore as new species is. You know, every box reflects their owner's personality, and y'all know me. I got this hard fucking image and shit, but I'm soft as fucking baby shit. All right, and we have to be the same. Right? We got to consider everybody's struggle, everybody's battle. Sometimes they have a blankie that they don't need. And if we just fucking rip it away from them, it's going to traumatize their little fucking ass. All right, so we gotta let them carry that blankie until we incept them enough that they like, oh, it's my idea to get rid of a blankie. You know, just be smarter than our athletes. Eye contact, balance. Don't let it get creepy or sexy. All right, just a quick glance and keep it moving. You know, too much. Listen, people been locked up for a long time. You get too much eye contact right now, they're gonna think you want to fuck. All right, and that could go either way. They might be really excited about it. Y'all a bunch of really good looking motherfuckers, or it might creep them out. You just never know. You never know. I'm getting old, so we don't know how it goes. Facing athletes while speaking, I put this one on there for myself. I'm fucking so bad about trying to tell Phil something. I'm like, all right, Phil, I'm see, has no fucking idea what I said. Because I'm so ADD, I'm trying to do 100 motherfucking things at a time. So I put that one on there for me.
Can I add in really quick?
Yes.
Another thing too, if I'll find myself doing an athlete and then I say their name after, I'm like, what a fucking idiot. I just gave them everything I wanted to know and then addressed them. And like, maybe if I said their name first, they would respond better.
Right.
But I find myself doing that all the time. So if you address the athlete and then cue them or congratulate them or cheer them on.
And those little things make the biggest fucking difference. It's those little tiny things. Because that makes the difference of you giving someone this big, long, awesome, positive cheerleading spiel and them not hearing it at all or them actually hearing the whole thing. You know, it's like, come on, Zach, versus all that on the front end and then Zach at the end. You know what I'm saying? That's a great call. Great call. Avoiding tech. I'm bad at this one too. We're always on our phones. That's our culture. Put your phone in a box, put it whatever. If there's something going on, if there is some legitimate reason for you to be on your phone, you're taking pictures of the class, you are awaiting a refrigerator delivery, whatever. If there is a fucking legit reason for you to be on your phone, fucking let the class know. That way the perception isn't, I'm over here paying for this shit and this motherfucker on his phone. You know, again, talking to myself as much as I'm talking to anybody else. Batches up, being verbal, got that. Social community, athletes first. I already did my back in my day shit. Did miss a wide, so they came in. Equipment, etc., even all off duty, just athletes always get it first. With great power comes great responsibility, okay? That's just part of the coaching mantle. You're now a coach full time, whether you want to be or not, whether you coach 1 class a week or whether you coach 10 classes a week, doesn't matter. Right? Non-compete. That non-compete, be shy with your numbers, all right? I haven't had to worry about this for a very long time because my numbers haven't been that great for a very long time. But once upon a time, I was actually pretty decent at this shit. And one of the things we did very early on, even when our athletes would ask us about our numbers, we would kind of try to dodge it. If they were persistent, then we'd tell them. But when I had a guy that I just saw PR 235 on a dead, and mine's 435, I'm not trying to rain on his parade, you know? And Phil will totally get the Tim Prater reference, all right? So Tim Prater, we don't want to Tim Prater our athletes. Tim Prater will watch someone, a dude, fail a max deadlift attempt or max back squat attempt, drop it, he'll go over there, no warm up cold, gently power clean it back on the rack and then walk off. All right, that's a potential loss, remember? You know what? Like, now we're talking about erectile dysfunction issues at home. Like, it's not a good look. Listen, there's oftentimes like a female will, you know, bail on a bar, on a back squat or whatever, and I'll get her to help me up with it. And a lot of times I could clean it cold, you know, but it's all perception shit. It's all made. We're here to elevate their experience and elevate them. So a lot of us come up from being a part of a tribe in classes and that type of thing. And some of us may be very competitive with our peers and that type of thing. I'm not trying to make that go away, but the volume on it has to be turned down when you become a coach. All right, so if an athlete is coming at you and they're like, nah, I know I beat you, I saw you short this, or haha, I got you on that one, even though you saw them short 100 squat reps, all right, we're gonna let them have that win. Yeah, dude, you know what? You got that shit, man. Good for you. And then go home and cuss to your wife like I do. Like, man, there was one year we were doing turkey trip. All right, I was with Allie, Justin, and Marcella. And I had a team over here not even counting their motherfucking reps. And I hadn't actually worked out the group in a long time for reasons such as this. And I'm like, these motherfuckers over here, I haven't done. But We just let them have the win and then bitch among ourselves, because that's how you do it. And that's how businesses grow.
However, we
All right.
flawlessly.
And that actually brings up a really good point. If you're in class or if you're working off the side, you know people are watching. I don't have to really say this to this crew, but I will anyway. Man, focus on your standards. Focus on fucking moving well. Everybody's gonna get better than that, even you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to get in here and move shitty for a while, do it on your own time. Make sure nobody here, y'all all got keys. Okay, y'all can get in here and flail around, just please don't hurt yourself. Me and Marcelo are pregnant, we need you right now. All right, but do you. But when athletes are around, man, lock it in hard. Okay, last thing, guys, try to treat every class like it has these two athletes present. All right, Dave Castro, Mike Bergener, Vic Bergeron, whatever hero coach there is in the world that you think is like, fuck, I would really want to impress them. All right, try to leave off names we do not speak of. All right, and so you got him in class, and then you got this old grandma that just walked in off the street. She moves decently well, but she's gonna need a lot of work. All right, I want those two people in every class you teach. All right, so that means every demo movement, every warm-up movement, if it's not very quickly and easily and readily done well by athletes in the class where you can say, man, just like that, they're doing it so great, then you're demoing that shit. All right, every movement in the WOD at least gets a touch. We always have the higher skill movements we focus on, but every movement has to have at least a good demo, a good standard explanation. All right, it's easy to get comfortable because New Species has been around a long motherfucking time now. We got a lot of members that have been doing this shit a long time. So they'll be looking at us like, over here. They're not doing it perfect either. There's something they can pick up. Anytime I got a bunch of them motherfuckers in the class, I just make it more performance-based. Like if we're doing a rope climb skill day, very few people are climbing rope like Froning. All right? With the exception of this room. Okay? Like very few people are climbing rope as good as us in here. You know, period. You know, why? Because we took the time to learn the techniques, all this and that. So cue them up on that. You know, whatever it is, but find a way to cue them up. If you ever get to a place where you're stuck and you don't know scales for something, you know, reach out. Let us know. We'll get you there. We'll make it the focus of a whole meeting. And what else I got? That's
we got
it.
a question in the back.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
So
You
one
with the belly.
time I had one person in class and it was sleds, and I thought it would be a good idea to jump in and go with her. And I've never done that since. So I felt like she was okay with it, but I also felt like she would rather me be a one-on-one. So how do you feel about wadding the class when you're coaching?
I think that there's definitely room for it to be a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
I think that if I had to put some sort of real standard or dynamic on it, I would say that all athletes present have been CrossFitting for at least a year. 6 months plus at least, but definitely a year even to be sure. And that's just me, you know, shooting off the cuff. So you'll get the feel. Like for example, if just Big Matt showed up at one of my noon classes, he would want me to do it with him.
Like ask.
Right. If Matthew Push showed up to one of my noon classes, I'm teaching that like a fucking one-on-one.
I mean, what if it's a smaller group though? Still no.
I would treat them as a whole. If they've all three of them have been CrossFitting more than a year, and they're more like, you know, Jake, whatever, you know, people that were our athletes before our coaches and want us to jump in, cool. If it's even, but I would say this, one bad apple spoils the bunch. You got one Kush, you're coaching that whole motherfucker. You know, so base it on that. If there's one Kush, we'll call it the Kush law. All right? See, look at us getting fucking systems and rules and shit. All right? Kush law. All right? If there's one Kush present, you gotta coach it like a fucking one-on-one. You know, no man, it could be 19 other motherfuckers. They're us. Like, all right, Kush.
They prefer.
Most-
I've had people thank me over and over for one-on-ones.
Same.
And actually say, I felt like I was in a class.
And
Like, thank you for making me
most
feel
often
like-
that will be the case.
Yeah.
I personally I might jump in on like a slow lift. like lift with them maybe,
Okay.
because then there's more time. They still get your direct attention. I'm more apt to do that. Yes, sir.
Sometimes, what you said before, the celebrity thing, sometimes that comes into play. I know
Yeah.
with Marcella,
Yeah.
and sometimes it does. In rare cases, it has with me where it'd be like, we have a while where you had a person holding the
Tailpipe.
Yep. And like,
Yep.
it was 3 people.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And he'd be like, I'll jump in. They're like, oh shit.
That is
I'll
a
jump in.
great
They put-
example of when it's very appropriate.
Yeah.
Like a partner wide is a fantastic
But in
example.
the instance when you
Yep.
talk about the sled pushes, and it's like a off balance number, whatever
Right.
that, if you jump in, a lot of people are like, they step up the performance because they want to
Yes. Yeah, and I
That's
think
a
sled
lot of
push.
precedent is
Yeah.
put on beating the coach.
And I think
Like,
sled
oh, yeah, you
and
know
it's
that.
the sled push thing is it's an interesting balance because I feel like one person I'm almost going to have to EMOM them, especially if I'm super fit.
Yeah.
Or in my case, if I'm super unfit, I'm not trying to get out there with them and say that. Now you go ahead, get another one.
Right.
You know, or if I'm on the other end of that spectrum, you know, if I'm, you know, Big Phil pushing sleds, then they feel like I'm waiting on them. You know, but if it's like Phil said, where it's 2 or 3 and one more number might make it better, that's why we program in the fucking teams of 3 or 4. So if it's helping that cause, that might be a time to jump in. You know, so I'm like, guys, you know, we always gonna be libertarian in this motherfucker. You know, whatever you think's right, I'm gonna trust you. All right, but I don't want to hear back that motherfucker not coaching the class, they working out too much, and the shirt was off table. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know where he was. And I've heard all of those things before. So I want to make sure we don't hear those. Any questions on anything we've covered? Are there any things? I'm sorry, I meant to stop section by section. I'm sorry I didn't because I wanted you guys to be able to interject. Anything you've taken that apply to any of this. So let's do it like this. Since we have a lot of guys who are missing, you know, anything in these categories that you feel like would enhance this, any best practice in any one of these categories that you feel as though could add to it that you do in your classes, throw it on there, and then we'll look at it again. You know, and we'll just keep growing this list. So as new species continues to evolve and get bigger and get better, guys, I feel like we're on the real cusp. I could be absolutely wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. But all trends point to us being on the cusp of a very big growth period. People are more aware of their fitness than they've ever been. People have been handcuffed in their houses for a year and just want to be around people more. So there's a lot of things that would say that it's going to trend our way as far as getting busier. A lot of, with more and more vaccines rolling out, we're having more and more of our athletes that were comfortable being in a group setting now not give a fuck and come back. I don't know if y'all have seen JD, but he's a hugger now. It's the weirdest shit.
Saw him yesterday.
Yeah, he's hugging everybody. It's the
like
craziest
2 days
thing.
in a row.
Yeah, he's just here now. You know, he's back. You know, and that actually brings me to a good point. So I talked about when I want to circle back to this and then open it up to y'all. When I was talking about touching on all movements. All right, never go full JD. Okay, I watched JD queue up a burpee for fucking 12 to 15 minutes. All right, we've all seen it. Okay, which listen, every now and then step back and actually queue up the burpee other than just standards. You know, talk about hinging and popping and how you can make them more efficient. You know, fuck yeah, let's go. Okay, but please do not ever spend 12 minutes on a burpee. If y'all struggling that much in life, come talk to me. We'll have coffee. All right, if y'all need to talk, I'm here to listen. All right, don't make a motherfucker listen to about a burpee for 12 minutes. All right, that's the limit. All right, they're dying at that point. There's psychological damage past 12. All right, so make sure you touch everything, but again, only belabor a couple of points. Are there any movements off the top of y'all's head? Anything y'all want to add to? Anything y'all have run into recently with a movement and you've needed a scaling option for that you didn't have? I feel like we're all really good movement-wise, so I kind of want to leave that open table. So yeah, boom, anything. Rock and roll. Muscle ups. Feel good about them. All the shit, all the things.
I don't have a movement, but I said something I like to add.
Yes,
Like that.
absolutely.
So, one thing that I always thought was really important, and obviously we all exercise, you know what I'm saying? We're taking each other's classes a lot of times, right? And you should never, what I would encourage is that when you do take another coach's class, give them feedback. Don't take it personal, you know, someone coming up and saying, hey, you know, I noticed that I like to do the compliment sandwich. I'm saying
Yeah,
something they did really good,
Yeah, shit
something I would
sandwich.
work on, and then, you know, something you did really good. You know, so I would just encourage it, you know, after you're done taking another coach's class, give them some feedback.
Yeah.
Just one thing that they did really good, one thing they can work on, one thing that they did really good.
Yeah.
You know, and I found that that's always been, you know, beneficial. Just, you know, tuck your ego in your back pocket and not do it to hurt your feelings or anything like that. But do it because they want you to deliver the same quality product that you all want.
That's it. It's that iron sharpens iron shit.
Yeah.
And be receptive to it. You know what? Sometimes you might be like, you know what? They caught me on a off day. I do normally always do that.
Yeah.
I'm glad they refocused my attention on it. You fucking throw it out. Take it with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? Like lower. You know, one of the, you know, my whole fucking love thing. One of the characteristics of love is not easily offended. You know what I'm saying? So, like in a relationship, it will behoove you to not be easily offended. I would imagine. You know what I'm saying? So, like things like that, because that's how we grow. You know, fucking like whatever. Honestly, guys, that whole principle in my mind, like being a little bit, you know, closer to the inside, saved the whole organization of CrossFit as recent as this last year. They opened up a meeting where they, because of some people that were still on staff, they brought in some mouths that they didn't want to hear, as opposed to just the ones they did. And there was a fucking lot of yelling, there was a lot of screaming, there was a lot of bullshit that went down, but there was a lot of good that came up of it. You know, and that type of conflict is sometimes necessary, but a little bit of conflict, you know, that's what you do when you sharpen a knife, it's just a little bit of conflict. You know what I'm saying? So that's very, very good. And it's great feedback. Absolutely. Y'all don't be too hard on me. Okay? Mold.
I
Mold.
feel like we do a good job. Like, I know we do. Yeah. You know, like people I see.
Here we go.
Sometimes Phil and I, we like communicate.
Yeah.
Like rather than thinking I have to come up with my own warm up that's different than everyone else's, and my own cueing and my own skills, I like, what did you do for your warm up? She gives me some ideas. I'm like, I totally know where that is.
100%.
And then she always comes in and is like, so how long's the watch taking? Like, I swear that's the most beneficial shit.
100%.
We do it when the open's going. Like,
And guys, I use that in programming even. Like it's one of the reasons I program day by day like I do, because I like to have that constant finger on the pulse. Like somebody was going, man, my shoulders are really taxed this week. I'm like, and then it'll just make me reassess and be like, okay, I can see where I should pull off some shoulders. And I didn't catch it. You know what I'm saying? Little things like that. So you apply that in any realm, any dimension of your development, it's going to be great. You know what I'm saying? And you guys, like, listen, what separates us, and I can say this now from a very involved perspective, what separates us from other boxes is us. I mean, and we've always kind of known that, but now I've been exposed to it enough that I'm able to like really fucking outline some shit that we do. Like I want you guys to understand this list is telling you to do things that I already see all of you do. Like that's where it fucking came from.
One of the
You know?
times that I notice it the most is when I go into other boxes, like if I'm traveling and I drop in, I'm always so excited because I'm like, ooh, I can like pick up pieces of coaching from here, and then I'm always so disappointed when I go into boxes and the guy's like, yep, see you in an hour,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
right on the board, you're like, yeah, that's the warm up right there.
Yes.
You're like,
Hey guys, warm up your cleans.
yeah. And I just remember, like, you know, I'm with Justin who doesn't give a fuck, and I'm like, man, I'm so disappointed. He's like, yeah, whatever. But it's so nice when you like go travel and you're able to pick up bits and pieces.
100%.
And so when you come here and you're taking somebody else's class or like watching somebody else how they warm up their class or whatever it is, it's so nice to be able to
It
think
really is.
and pull and try new things. And I know like a lot of people have gone through injuries too, so like whatever it is that you do get to like rehab yourself, a lot of times that makes the best.
It really does. That ends up some of the most valuable knowledge.
Everybody's going through their own
You
shit.
got a hip issue, come talk to your boy. I fucking got you. All right, I broke mine all the way down. Okay, you know, and that's so true. Yes, sir.
I find a lot of pleasure in doing the whole parenting thing with us as coaches, right?
Yes.
When you have an athlete come to you, I love referring them to the different athletes who have their specialties in the different things.
100%.
Each one of us brings something different to the table.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Except for Steve, who's like the Swiss Army knife.
Man.
He can do it all.
He is
you know what I'm saying?
he is the purest CrossFit coach. Like jack of all trades. Gymnastics, got
You know
you.
what I'm saying? You wanna
Double
go to
under
yoga
clinic,
class,
let's
right,
go,
right.
motherfucker.
Gymnastics.
Like,
You're so
Right. So anything gymnastics wise, you're never gonna be different.
Weightlifting on it.
You know what I'm saying? So like anything like that, like some athlete comes to me like, hey, I need help with my muscles or whatever like that. I say something about athlete, or hey, I need help with my lifting. I say something about tip. Or I say, hey, I need help. You know, if I'm having back issues or whatever. I'm like, hey, we got Tyler. This or that. Like, you know, just so as much as you can, as far as for bigging up the coaches here, it helps as far as for helps to drive us even more.
100%.
And I think all of us do that really well. And
Oh,
I know,
yeah.
you know, a lot of times meetings are about, and you do a great job of it, a lot of times meetings are about talking what people don't do.
Right.
Sometimes talking what people actually do
Exactly.
very well.
And that's exactly how I wanted to end.
Yeah,
That's
like,
because that's what we do. You know, we
Tiffany's
keep
like
shit
a
positive. We're
master
hippies.
at like coming up to people and like, you know what I'm saying? What is her name? You know what I'm saying? I forgot her name. And Tiffany will be like, hey, if Tiffany doesn't know her name, which most of the time she does, but she'll go to her and start casual combo, get her name, and come back over to me like her name, Megan.
My favorite thing about Tiffany is the zero fucks that she gives.
So,
Like, that is where our souls unite on a very deep level.
you know, and Marcy teased me about giving everybody a nickname or whatever. You know, Big Dog, the general nickname, like
Yeah.
yeah, what up, Big Dog? Like, oh man, they love it. And Marcy's nice. She's like, it's no way, I'm not calling him Big Dog. I gotta go.
For the longest time, mine was Killer.
Yeah.
And then I went out one night and I had these 3 clients fighting over whose nickname was Killer. I'm like, nah, that's just something I say. I'm so sorry.
That when we started dating.
No,
so-
that was way before. Swear to God.
Right.
You know, so like, yeah, so that's awesome. Big Dog. That's
Yeah,
what I
I'm really appreciative of everybody here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own thing that they help me out with, that they bring as far as for the dynamic. And I appreciate all of you guys. It's a great staff.
It's unreal, man.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
great.
I'm
I've
watching.
Josh through a lot of staff.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And this is like a truly.
And by a lot, he means literally all of them.
Yeah.
Yes, literally,
The very, very.
the definition of the word literally, all of them. Like, literally all of them.
Dynamic. Everybody's got their own
Yep.
specialty, and then they still are very good.
We always stay ahead of the curve, and our staff just always evolves with it. We've always had the best staff. And other people now might have staffs or coaching staffs as good as we did like back in the day, but not as good as what we have now. You know, like we're always a few steps ahead, and like that's y'all, man. Like seriously, like I
How
mean.
do you get Tyler and Paige to stay?
I know. I gotta find fucking another.
Start there.
It took me. So when
get rid of
Prater,
Mr. Winter.
Tune into that bed.
when Prater left, when Prater left, it took me 10 years to find someone comparable. And now fucker, and of course he's a fucking gypsy. You know, like fuck. Like- Yeah, there are so many. There are a lot of really weird, odd similarities with Tim and Tyler. Like they're really, yeah. Like, and I mean that. I mean you have to understand. Tim's one of my best friends in my life. You know, like so. All right, I'm gonna kill the video.